Good morning and welcome to Wellness Wednesday with My Free Life. I'm your host today, Jordan Davis, and we're all missing Jordan Freed as he attends an annual conference where I know he is speaking at and changing lives and blowing people's minds as he has done all of ours. Today, we are going to be talking about an Ask Me Anything question. The question came in that was, what is anxiety? Where does it stem from? And how do I control it? Or how do I stop it? How do I make friends with it? And so we're going to be diving into the material from My Freed Life that we teach in the core course that Jordan Freed and I travel and teach. And so a couple of things that we use as tools to ask yourself and journal about with regards to anything that you're having anxiety about or a period that you are just overall feeling anxious. The first question is, what do you know you should be doing that you are not? Let me repeat that. What do you know that you should be doing that you're not? The second question is, what should you not be doing that you are? Let me ask that again. What should you not be doing that you are doing? The third question is, what is the minor that you're majoring in? So what is the small thing? What is the little thing that you're blowing up into a big thing? And last, what is the uncontrollable you are trying to control? This conversation with an agent who is not new to real estate, but is new to our organization. And last night she needed something for today that was going to require a company to be available during business hours. And she was freaking out and beating herself up and thinking she had made a mistake and she looked dumb. And the reality was she was just trying to control the uncontrollable. It was something that she needed to wait for business hours in order to get what she needed. And that uncontrollable, completely out of her control, was causing this intense amount of anxiety. And she was overly concerned with how she looked in that moment. So those are great tools that I would encourage you to journal and seek out where is this anxiety stemming from? Because sometimes we can't pinpoint the feeling, we can't pinpoint the activity that caused the feeling. But those 4 questions, if you can sit and journal, and maybe some of them don't apply to you in this situation, but those 4 questions are great opportunities to sit and journal and try to pinpoint where is this stemming from. The next thing that I want to share with you guys is from content of My Free Life. And let me go to share screen. And so what I want you to see right here is the state meter. This is available on myfreelife.com. It's one of the many tools that's available to you. You can just print it. You can hang it up. You can seek it consistently. But let me make sure that this is large enough for you guys to see. So this is a tool we call the state meter. And one of the exercises that I did with Jordan Freed was amongst a group of women where we circled the 5 states that we consistently find ourselves in. And what I found was I lived somewhere in the left side. I lived predominantly in the left side. Now, keep in mind, we were coming out of COVID. And so a lot was restless, stressed, panicked, discouraged, worried about business, about the well-being of the United States of America, the real estate market, a lot of things that I was trying to control that I couldn't control. So I was living in this suffering or scarcity, but a charged energy. If you know anything about me, you know I live my life in the upper half of this graph. Everything is charged for me. I don't have a whole lot in this calm energy, but you do get to choose and that's why it's called a self-induced state of choice. So this is the state meter. We're going to talk about how to get into a self-induced state of choice. What I found was I was primarily in the left side, in the suffering or scarcity side of this. When I took it out and worked on it and worked on my self-induced state of choice, and I revisited this 6 months later, I found that I had far more towards the right side of this graph. So this is a great tool for you to print out, utilize, have conversations with, evaluate yourself on maybe an annual basis. What are the states that I am consistently experiencing? So pick 5, and a year later, keep this up in your office. A year later, pick another 5. So let's talk about self-induced states of choice. If I find that I am tense, frustrated, stressed, enraged, but I would like to be motivated, hopeful, focused, optimistic, maybe even playful, right? And so I want to be on that right side, a little bit lower in the energy, charged energy, maybe not totally calm. I don't know that I'll ever be serene and cozy and comfy. But if I want to be a little bit over into that other category, how do I help myself do that? Specifically, I would encourage you when you find yourself anxious, for you to circle that word anxious and then find on the other side what you would like to feel. So let's pick one. I find myself anxious, but I am looking to feel satisfied. So let's take a look into the self-induced states of choice, the strategy for that. So when we talk about the self-induced states of choice, there are a few components here. And one is body. How is your body language, right? If I am anxious, if I'm frustrated, I may be tensed up, I may be caved in. If I am feeling, what was that word we were looking for? Secure. I am relaxed. My shoulders are backed. I feel as though it's all going to be okay. You know, we're also from scarcity and we would like to go into a state of abundance. One of the things that Jordan Freed talks about, what we talk about in My Freed Life, is when you tend to be in scarcity, you tend to be just like looking at the very, 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 very narrow, the right now. But taking a step back and taking in the whole room, taking in the whole page, taking an inventory of your whole life, sometimes just your eyes and opening them up to the room around you can bring you into a state of abundance. Also, a good tool that we utilize is when something is just really on your nerves, really bothering you, and you're trying to get perspective. A good rule of thumb is if it won't matter in 5 years, don't give it more than 5 minutes of your time. So posture, gesture, breathing. A secure person, an anxious person is going to be very quick breath. A secured person is going to be deep breaths. It's going to be okay. You need to tell your body, we are going to survive this. We're not going to die from this occasion. And we are not going to get kicked out of the tribe from this occasion. So just deep breaths and reassure your body. Your body will respond. Your language, what are your words? Always, never. Those tend to be very scarcity words, as opposed to this is a once, this is an occasional, this happens, this is out of my control, versus I'm an idiot, I look stupid, versus they will understand. What are your words and what are your language? Your rate and your tone, very quick, very anxious, very frustrated, jumping to, versus what is the tone of a secured person who's leading the way through this challenge? So I would invite you to consider journaling those things. If I would like to go from blank to blank, what does my body look like? How am I breathing? What are my words that I'm giving to this situation? What is the rate? Am I leading through this, or do I feel like I'm a victim of it? And then your focus. Where is your focus? That's another one that's like on the computer. We're not made to look at computers all day long. When we focus on computers all day long, we can get very sucked into a very, very, very small problem. So take your focus outward. Where is your imagination? Are you imagining the worst case scenario, or are you creating the best case scenario in your head? Your past talk. I always do this. I'm so stupid. I've done this before. Your present or future. I'm never going to get this right, right? Where is your focus on, let's say I made a mistake. How am I going to ensure that this doesn't happen in the future? Because I want to make sure I'm delivering the best customer service possible. So those are all great ways that you can journal and get yourself out of that anxious. Identify where it's coming from, because that's one of the important things is when you're feeling that anxiety that you're identifying where it's coming from. And then ask yourself, what do I desire to feel? And what does that person's body language, um, mindset, language, what is their focus on, and how do I move into that? And then the ways to create change are to acknowledge it. That's the first step, and to take action towards it. So consistently redirect yourself back to how you intend to feel and how you intend to show up in that situation. And you'll find that you're more consistently arriving from anxiety to that calm, secure state. I hope you found this helpful. I hope you guys are having a fantastic week, and you take some time and visit My Free Life. Go print out the state meter and use this exercise, whether it's you, whether it's a teenager at home, whether it's an employee, and help them live a more freed life. Thank you so much and have a great Wednesday.